Well, joining us today on Arise 360 is David Adeleke, media founder, strategist, and one of the sharpest voices shaping Africa's creative economy. He is the founder and CEO of Communique, and the media and intelligence company connecting more than 140,000 creators, investors, and policymakers across 105 countries. A former Africa editor at the Rest of the World with bylines in The Guardian, Al Jazeera, and Reuters, David has become a key driver of conversations at the intersection of culture, technology, and policy, including his pivotal work on the creator economy research with the Nigerian government. He's here to break down what the future looks like for Africa's creators and the industries powering them. Hi, and welcome to Arise 360.
Thank you very much.
You had to let my viewers know when I said David Adeleke, they should not be expecting David. Did you get that a lot when you introduced yourself?
Yes, I do.
So are you related to David?
Yeah. People tend to ask a lot.
Welcome to the show. Let's get right into it. Your work reaches over 140,000 people across 105 countries. What would you say is the single biggest misconception about Africa's creative economy today as it stands?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here. Just a little bit of an update. It's 150,000 now.
Okay. Get into it. Updated 150,000. My bad. But please go on.
It's fairly recently also.
Yeah.
So the biggest misconception is that it's not an industry. A lot of people still think it's fun and games. They don't understand that this, much like what telecoms has done for Nigeria, much like what oil and gas has done for Nigeria, or the energy industry generally has done for Nigeria, much like what technology has done for Nigeria, the creative economy can do the same thing. It can be a key driver of economic growth. It can be a key driver of socio-political change and cultural power across the country, across the continent, and across the world. So I think the biggest misconception is people still think it's something that some young people who are bored, who they don't know what they want to do with their lives. This is what they are doing in the meantime before they get serious. But it's serious business now.
So why do we have that misconception? And from what you're saying, I hear it's our soft power. Even though it's soft, it's still putting us on the map, because really when you think about why people know Nigeria, or, we talk Afrobeat, we talk the Nollywood industry, we talk about creative space, our arts, our culture. Why are we still grappling to meet up with other industries in the economic sector?
I think for the longest time, the industry has not had structure. That's a fact. It's had to, and when we talk about the creative economy, by the way, we talk about the entertainment industry. It's a subset of the creative economy. And for a very long time, it has not had the structure and political backing that other industries have had. For instance, a lot of other industries have regulators, or they have government parastatals that are dedicated to their growth and development, ideally at the very least. The creative economy has not really had that. It's had to figure out things on its own. You think about Nollywood, for instance. Nollywood is where it is today, largely because the industry stakeholders have had to figure things out
by themselves.
It's the same thing with the music industry, if you really think about it. But now we're starting to have more structure in the industry. You take the Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and the Creative Economy, for instance. That ministry did not exist as it is right now until 2023. So this is a fairly new ministry, and it is indicative of the journey of the creative industry so far, or how seriously people within Nigeria take the creative economy. But I also think that the existence of the ministry is proof that it's no longer just a hobby. It's no longer just a side project, so to speak, for a lot of people. It's now something that the government takes seriously. For instance, fairly recently, the conversations about taxes, creators, freelancers, and all of that. Again, it shows that this thing, people now see it as a business and as somewhere that they can build their career. So to answer your question, the reason why it hasn't been taken very seriously in the past is because it's just not really had the structure to back it up, but now that structure is there.
Okay, so it's interesting that you even touch on, a minister, the Ministry of, Arts, Culture, the Creative Economy, of course, under the lead of Honorable Minister Hannatu Musawa. So I want to ask you now, if you could change, maybe not 1, 2, 3 government policies that could today improve creator livelihoods, what would it be and why? And I want to know what your thoughts are about the Dirty December Task Force.
Can we not talk about that? So, I'll talk about the Dirty December Task Force first. Again, this is evidence. So if someone there who's an investor is listening to me and trying to figure out, is this thing real? Should I really take it seriously?
Is it worth the while?
Is it worth the effort?
Yeah.
Yes, because again, you have a government that is now paying attention to this. You have industry stakeholders who are now trying to design structures and systems that allow people to benefit from it, that also allow Nigerians to make money from it and then keep the money within the country. Because again, something that we've not really talked about is about Afrobeats, for instance, is Afrobeats has made a lot of money, billions of dollars. But the bulk of that money has left Nigeria or has not even come into Nigeria at all. So now, things like the Dirty December Task Force, for instance, the aim is to figure out systems on how to figure out systems that we can build around Nigeria that allows us to keep a bulk of the revenue. And then to answer your question about what I would change, I don't know if I would change anything specifically because, again, the ministry is young in the real sense of the word, and there is obvious deliberate effort. There is a strategy that the ministry is working with.
Yeah.
So for instance, the Nigerian Creator Economy Report that we published this year had the backing of the ministry. That's the first time ever in the history of this country that we've had a government parastatal say, hey, go ahead and do this thing for this particular industry that is new. And then we will just give you all the backing that you need. Had the backing of the ministry, had the backing of the NCAC as well. In fact, Mr. Obi Asika was actively involved in the process, in the development of the report. So I won't change anything specifically. I would say that the ministry needs time. It's a factor of time because they are doing a lot of things right. A lot of stakeholder engagement. For instance, around September last year, the ministry had a roundtable with industry stakeholders, which I attended, which is again the evidence that you need that this industry is moving in the right direction. So I wouldn't change anything, to be honest. I would just say the ministry needs more time. It also needs to continuously engage with all the stakeholders that it is engaging with. I think one of the things that I would maybe like to see in particular is just giving people who have grassroots understanding of the industry the access that they need to opportunities, the access that they need to capital. So maybe that's one thing that I would say needs to happen more frequently.
Definitely. So let's dive more into, this report that you put together.
Okay.
Talk to me about your takeaways from this. What are the analytics? Looking at it as an all-encompassing report, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to do better?
So there is a lot that the report talks about.
Yeah.
But I would focus on
urgently,
one thing. It's that there is a creator middle class. So Nigeria, unlike many, when people talk about the creator economy around the world, especially in the West, there is this overarching narrative that there is no creator middle class. Nigeria disproves that theory because platforms like Seller, platforms like Nestuge, for instance, allow the average person who is a creator, who has a vibrant community, to design digital products that they can then sell. So they can make a living from digital products. They don't need the biggest brand endorsements in the world. They don't need 1 million followers. They don't need 2 million followers. With just 10,000 followers who really care about your work, you can build a career within the creator economy. So I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from the report. And I would then say, by extension, is the creators then need more support. We need more infrastructure. We need more support. We need people who care about the creator economy to have conversations, to have policy conversations. That's one of the things that we try to do a lot more of at Communicate, which is to engage in policy conversations with governments, with government proxies, and all of that. So I think that's the main takeaway from the report.
Yeah. So can we touch on, building the systems that protect creator rights? I'm talking about IP,
yes.
royalties,
Yes.
data, in a market that still undervalues creative work. How do we move that conversation forward? Because it seems as if we are still kind of dancing around IPs, as it were.
We were dancing around IPs until fairly recently, and I think you can fact check this, but the ministry has finally gotten to a point where the IP frameworks are now in place. The frameworks are in place. The real work now is in the actual execution and the enforcement of the frameworks, and that's where I think the technology ecosystem, the tech ecosystem, can now be of great service to the creative economy. So I think we are getting to a point in the history of Nigeria where it's going to be very difficult to separate the creative economy and the tech ecosystem. And you're already seeing it because there's a lot of overlap. A lot of tech ecosystem stakeholders are now investing in the creative economy. So I think when more tech ecosystem stakeholders start to now design products that are relevant to the creator and the creative economy, because they're not the same thing, they're two different things, but to the creator and the creative economy, then you're going to see a lot more growth in terms of IP protection, data, because those are tech infrastructure conversations. They need to happen within the context of the creative economy, but they are fundamentally tech infrastructure conversations. So those two industries need to speak to each other more.
Okay, because we're running out of time, I want anybody watching this to be able to leave with something.
Okay.
If you're advising a young creator starting today, what is the one mindset that you think that they must adopt to succeed in this new economy that we currently have? And very quickly, are there any signals that you see, or what signals are you seeing that point to where Africa's or Nigeria's creative industry could end up in 5-10 years from now?
I'm so happy you're asking that question because just a few minutes ago, you were talking about the Wizkid documentary on HBO.
Yes. That's a
think
big
about
deal.
it for think about it for a minute. We have who I think is maybe the second or first, whatever you can argue it, but one of the biggest artists out of Africa.
Yeah.
One of the biggest artists in the world. From Nigeria, from Ojuelegba, Lagos here. He has a documentary on HBO where some of the greatest shows of all time have aired or are hosted. It tells you everything you need to know about the direction that this industry is going. So I will now feed that into your first question, which is, you're a young creative, you're watching me, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do is, or one word that I would say is collaboration. Collaboration is the reason why Nollywood, Afrobeats, or the music industry generally were able to build themselves up with little to no government support initially. Now there is a lot of government support that they are receiving, but the reason why they've been able to get to where they are is largely because the music industry is competitive, Nollywood is competitive, but largely there's been a collaborative spirit within that industry. And I think if you're a young person who is just out there, maybe you're a young graduate, or you're about to finish school, or you're in NYC camp right now, you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I break into this industry? Look for people who are already doing great things.
Yeah.
For instance, we receive internship requests all the time. We can't take everybody, but I think we've gotten at least 3 people who've reached out and they've joined us as interns, and then they've moved into full-time roles within our organization. So look for people who are doing interesting things. Offer your support, even if it's for free. If they can pay you, I prefer to pay people. I don't like free labor, but even if it's for free, offer your services and say, hey, can I join you? I see what you're doing. These are the services that I can offer. This is what I have done before.
And in doing that, you're building your skill set.
You're building your skill set. You're building your network, because at the end of the day, it is your network that's going to be most influential or most impactful on your career. So if you're a young person out there, you're watching me, that's one thing I would tell you. Look for people to collaborate with.
All right, then. Fantastic. I think that's a good place to end our conversation today. David Adeleke, everybody. This has been a fantastic conversation.